with stories that matter to you. This is Fox 6 News at 6.
Now at 6, ICE arrests at the courthouse, and now people are worried about the impact that could make on future cases. Bill Miston breaks down what we know, plus
the competition's tight. New Berlin and Brookfield, they put together a good team, too.
They usually work together, but this time they're facing off. We'll share why 2 local police and fire departments will battle it out on the courts. Tonight, Milwaukee's chief judge and local immigration attorneys say they're worried about the future of court cases.
This all after recent ICE arrests inside the Milwaukee County Courthouse. That is where Bill Miston joins us live. Bill?
Yeah, damage to the criminal justice system is what Milwaukee's county chief judge and some immigration attorneys are saying about these recent arrests and how it can affect future court cases. Now, this information came out last week, but these arrests happened last month. The chief judge and sheriff's office confirmed Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained 2 people on 2 different days, happening in the halls of the county's courthouse complex. One on March 20th following an injunction hearing, and the other before another defendant's court hearing. In a press release Sunday evening, Chief Judge Carl Ashley said the arrests would have a chilling effect on access to justice, erode trust in the system, and create confusion, saying, quote, "It undermines the principles of justice, fairness, and equality before the law, and ultimately jeopardizes the rights of individuals seeking to navigate the legal process. Courts must remain safe havens for all individuals free from the threats of immigration and enforcement." Now, immigration attorneys tell Fox 6 that these types of detentions were common around the time of 9/11, but fairly rare since. But in recent years, again, have been more rare. Attorneys tell us that if these types of arrests continue, that it could deter people who might be eyewitnesses to serious crimes from showing up to court and testifying. Now, Republican lawmakers like Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany say that these types of arrests keep communities safe. Fox 6 reached out to ICE for information about the arrests. We have not heard back. Reporting live at the Milwaukee County Courthouse, Bill Miston, Fox 6 News.
A 6-year-old boy's mother and uncle are charged after he died from a gunshot wound to the head. Prosecutors say that 26-year-old DeQuella Collins and 21-year-old Quintel Collins are responsible for the death of DeQuell Collins. It happened last week on the city's north side. The court records say the gun used belonged to the boy's mother. Documents show she kept the gun in a shoebox in the closet, along with a gun lock, still in its packaging. Investigators say hours before the shooting, Quintel, a felon, sent his sister a video of him rapping, holding her gun and one of his own. The video showed the 6-year-old in the background. Prosecutors haven't said who shot the 6-year-old, but did say the boy's grandmother found him after she heard a loud bang.
The saddest part about this whole thing is the crux of the whole matter is the fact that you weren't supposed to have a gun in the first place.
Investigators say after the shooting, Quintel left the home and ditched his gun. DeQuella is charged with neglect as a party to a crime. Quintel's list of charges includes child neglect and second-degree reckless homicide. Both are back in court next week.
There was extra security today at Burdick School in Milwaukee after a threat. MPS says there was a threat made through a text message this weekend to a student at Burdick, and as a result, police increased their presence at the school today. Meanwhile, students say they don't feel safe after a 13-year-old was arrested for having a loaded gun at a Milwaukee public school. An 8th grade student, with permission from his parents, reached out to Fox 6, saying he is frustrated with administrators at the Milwaukee School of Languages. Over the weekend, we heard from parents and other students who felt left in the dark. Comes after Milwaukee police arrested a 13-year-old girl accused of bringing a loaded gun to the school. MPS says police recovered the weapon safely after a student reported it to administrators. That same day, MPS sent a letter to families explaining that police found an, quote, inappropriate item inside the school. MPS even says it sent a more detailed email the next day, but the student wishes there was more transparency the day it actually happened.
We all didn't know if it was true, right? But then we saw Milwaukee Police Department coming into the school, and we saw them taking pictures of the classroom that it was found in. And it was just really a chaos because we weren't know what was going on.
Families say a video that made the rounds on social media actually contributed to the chaos. You can learn more about that on our Fox Local mobile app.
Let's go to weather now. This morning started off with something. I heard on the window.
Grapple. It's grapple again, Tom Walks.
It's grappling, yes, those snow pellets, if you will, right? You heard those pinging on the window earlier. We've had some grapple, some snow showers today. Very cold temperatures as well for this time of year. Let me show you what's going on with this wintry radar scene. We still have some scattered snow showers around. These will be dwindling after sunset tonight. In fact, we're already getting in on some clearing just off to the northwest, but it is cold. We're at 33, but when you factor in the wind, feels like 23 with that northeasterly wind tonight with the wind chill. Temperatures are in the 30s across the board. Wind chills, in the 20s. So the wind will start to subside later on tonight as these snow showers come to an end. Note the rapid clearing just up to the northwest. So our skies will start to clear out as temperatures drop through the 30s. But guess what? We're all going to be in the upper teens to low 20s for air temperatures tomorrow morning. We have some sun on the way, though, and then the potential for more snow on Wednesday. The latest on that in a few minutes. Ben, back over to you.
Did you say snow?
I did. I said it.
Just making sure I heard you right. All right, Tom, we'll talk about it soon. New tonight, a jury found a Fond du Lac man guilty of first-degree reckless homicide in the overdose death of his sister. Evidence showed that Christopher Horth, on your screen, bought drugs in Milwaukee and delivered a deadly dose of fentanyl to his sister in May 2020. Horth's trial lasted 5 days, but it didn't take the jury long. Only took him an hour to deliberate here. They found him guilty Friday. He faces more than 30 years in prison.
Also new tonight, a judge sentencing a man in connection to a 2023 case of child neglect. Joel Mankey pled guilty to 2 charges of chronic child neglect. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison plus another 10 years of extended supervision. The sentencing stems from a case in July of 2023 when police responded to the neighborhood near 71st and Stevenson. Neighbors reported seeing 2 kids walking around naked with blood on them. Police found trash and the smell of urine and feces throughout the home. Mankey was charged along with Katie Koch. She was sentenced in February of 2024.
We got new details tonight in the case of a woman bit last month by a security canine at Mayfair Mall. Now, we got our hands on documents from the Wauwatosa Police Department describing what happened. In the police report, 19-year-old Mira Walls says she was trying to break up a fight involving a friend. She says when the canine officer came over, another girl attacked her, and she says she tried to defend herself. That's when she told police the canine latched onto her ankle. You'll remember the video someone took at that moment. We just showed it to you. Well, the handler gave police a different account, saying Walls tried to kick him and he fell, causing him to drop the leash. He reported she tried to kick him again, and that's when the canine named Blue bit her. The handler says he tried to remove Blue, but Walls was still fighting, making it difficult for him to get control. The handler also reported he was fired and Blue was transferred to Indiana. Meanwhile, Walls has hired an attorney who says they will likely hold a press conference later this week.
New at 6, it's a charity basketball game that pits police and firefighters against each other. And behind boots and badges, there's a good cause. Waukesha County reporter Brett Lemoyne shows you how the upcoming game helps ensure no child goes hungry.
I'm playing to pull up.
When he's on the court,
Competitive always.
Waukesha police officer Roosevelt Mullins is on a different kind of patrol.
Seeing all the smiles, all the kids, the laughter. I mean, it's a good time.
We caught up with Waukesha police and firefighters who will take on New Berlin and Brookfield first responders this Friday. Waukesha is looking to hold on to its title.
The competition's tight. New Berlin and Brookfield, they put together a good team, too.
Captain Joe Hendrick says last year's game wasn't just a win for Waukesha. Boots and badges set an attendance record in 2024. Hendrick says that resulted in thousands of dollars raised for local charities. This year's game will benefit the Waukesha Housing Action Coalition and Blessings in a Backpack.
Currently, we're feeding 3,400 children in Waukesha County.
Managing Director Susan Reed explains Blessings in a Backpack extends the healthy meals kids eat in school to weekends. Reed says the number of kids served since the pandemic has increased, and the organization relies solely on private funds.
The donations that will come from the Boots and Badges event will really make a huge difference in helping us feed the kids every Friday.
For these men,
It means the world to us, you know, to have those interactions with the community that we serve.
giving back is the biggest reward.
Hey! At the end of the day, at the end of the game, we're all shake hands. We're all on the same team.
In Waukesha, Brett Lemoyne, Fox 6 News.
And volunteers will also collect canned food items for 10 free raffle tickets. Doors open at 6 p.m. this Friday at Waukesha South High School. South, West, and North High Schools dance teams also will be there along with the bands for halftime.
It's one of those games I'm not choosing sides because I want all those guys to show up.
Everyone
If there's an emergency at my house, I need them all to come.
That's
so
true.
Go teams.
Talking tariffs.
And who's willing to negotiate? Israel's prime minister setting the tone this afternoon by visiting the president. What came out of this meeting and which countries the White House says are also trying to reach a deal.
Plus, we take a closer look at shifting shopping strategies and what folks are avoiding and what they're still willing to buy. President Trump is threatening China with more tariffs after it raised its taxes on U.S. imports.
Other countries, however, seem to be lining up to try and negotiate, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He visited the White House today to talk tariffs with President Trump. He's the first foreign leader to do so since President Trump announced those massive import taxes last week.
We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. And I think Israel can serve as a model for many countries who ought to do the same.
Israel already lifted its tariffs on American products, but Netanyahu hopes to put global trade relations back in order as markets across Europe and Asia plunge. Donald Trump also told other countries not to retaliate, but that's exactly what China did, slapping an extra 34% tax on U.S. goods starting this Thursday. If Beijing doesn't reverse course by tomorrow, President Trump plans to hit back with an additional 50% tariff.
And the White House says 50 countries have reached out to negotiate on the tariffs, including Japan, Canada, and Mexico. Meanwhile, the tariffs may shift shoppers' strategy. Some economists say tariffs will force American companies to pay more to import certain things, pushing them to raise prices to offset the cost. According to the retail experts like Professor Thomas McMillan of Texas A&M University, the concerns may change our shopping choices.
So at this time, consumers are still spending money. It's all just a matter of balance right now. The balance of pulling back, but still giving themselves that little hint of indulgence.
McMillan says instead of large, big-ticket items, more people are investing in smaller things, like trading in a full facial at your spa for a mask that you pick up at the store. But he says people are still willing to spend on experiences like seeing a movie or a play, and investments in wellness, like gym memberships, are not expected to slow down.
Gone, but certainly not forgotten. Tributes continue for Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. The Brewers announcing today a big celebration of life scheduled for later this season. We've got a date. We're going to share what you can expect.
You're watching Fox 6 News with Ben Handelman and Kim Murphy.
The Milwaukee Brewers are paying a special tribute to legendary broadcaster Bob Uecker, and they're inviting everyone to be a part of it.
The celebration of life will take place Sunday, August 24th. The pregame program will feature appearances from guests who were close to Uecker. There will also be video and images of Uecker that have rarely been seen or shown throughout the game. All fans attending the game will go home with a lapel pin with Uecker's uniform design patch. The special item will only be available on that date and not for sale.
It's deserving of special time, and I don't think anybody in the stadium will complain with the duration of the event because, again, we're trying to compact 90 years of an amazing life into a pregame ceremony.
And tickets are now available to buy. For details, you can also visit our Fox Local app.
And hopefully the weather will be a lot warmer in August.
Yes.
Because, man, I mean, we know it's April in Wisconsin.
But more snow in April, it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And there's more in the forecast. So I know that time of year, right? At least, you know what? Let's start out on a kind of a springy note. Allergies, right?
Okay.
You know, so we're starting to get the allergy reports back in now that it's April. It's the tree pollen. So if you're sniffling and sneezing, that could be why. This is from our friends at the Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center in Greenfield. So again, tree pollen. on the moderate side today. Okay, now we're back to the cold. We've had scattered snow showers throughout the day today, courtesy of cold air above us at 18,000 feet. And that temperature difference creating instability in the atmosphere and causing these blotchy snow showers to develop. They're almost done. In fact, skies are rapidly clearing now in our northwestern communities. That's going to lead to a very cold night tonight. In fact, air temperatures teens to low 20s. By sunrise tomorrow morning. So yeah, it's going to get chilly. We still have some clouds in place over downtown tonight. Here we are at 33 at this 6 o'clock hour. Winds are out of the northeast and they've been gusty today, so it's dropping the wind chill to 23. Temperatures 30s across the board, but it's not the temperature, it's the wind chill, right? So you factor in the wind and it feels like the 20s. Now, the wind will start to settle down later on tonight, especially during the overnight hours, but that's going to allow that air temperature to drop. So that's also why it's going to be so cold tomorrow morning. Skies rapidly clearing, and behind this system as it pulls away from us. So we have the sunshine that you see off to the west. That comes in for tomorrow. Sunny skies, highs around 40. Our next system, that comes in Wednesday. That's on the west coast right now. Let's take a look at Sky Vision Plus. We'll take you through here hour by hour. And tonight, again, rapidly clearing skies with the wind gradually settling on down. You see the wind gets a bit lighter by about 3 a.m. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, cold in the morning, and then a high around 40 tomorrow afternoon, but a lot of sunshine on the way for us tomorrow. Increasing clouds late tomorrow night. I think our Wednesday morning is going to be dry, but as we head towards the middle part of the day, here you see a few rain showers coming through. It's really going to be mid to late afternoon when we start to see this really start to take shape here. You see rain mixing with some snow, 3:30 in some of our western communities, but watch this. 1 degree just above our heads is going to make all the difference as to whether this is rain or this is snow on Wednesday evening. And you can see the latest data here showing that it converts over to snow. If that happens, and this is all snow by Wednesday evening, it's going to be the heavy, wet variety of snow, number one. Number two, it's going to fall at a very good clip, and it is likely to accumulate. So the question tonight is, will this convert over to snow? That's still a question mark. If it does happen, then the question will be how much will fall. I'll say right now, at least an inch or two, if not higher than that. And again, the heavy, wet, slushy variety of snow. But this would be a decent snowfall rate coming down on Wednesday night and then tapering off during the morning hours on Thursday, possibly lingering into the morning commute on Thursday. So we're going to have to watch this one closely. So tonight, temperatures dropping through the 30s. Again, we're going to be in the 20s by morning, near 40 tomorrow, and again on Wednesday. Once we get past that system, look at this, guys, near 60 over the weekend. So we'll warm things up. Back over to you.
All right. Thanks, Tom. There is a Houston hook to the Florida coach's opportunity in tonight's national championship college basketball game.
Plus, the Brewers, they hit the Colorado, having overcome a rocky start to their season. Tim Van Voren has Fox 6 Sports next.
You're watching Fox 6 Sports with Sports Director Tim Van Voren.
Trade. The Brewers are throwing out the nets and seeing what kind of pitching help they could catch. Milwaukee bolsters its depleted staff today by picking up right-hander Quinn Priester from the Red Sox organization. He has a career earned run average of 6.23 in roughly 100 big league innings. In near desperation, the crew is forced to part with a high prospect, a high draft choice, and a player to be named later. Priester's from Northern Illinois, so he knows the upper Midwest. And his arrival serves as a reminder that the club does have legit expectations this season and figures to be in the playoff hunt. That's why winning 5 of 6 games after a slow start is enormous, especially with key offensive players still in the doldrums.
Yeah, like we get an off day. Off days are always needed, and they're nice to have. We had a good week at home, and kind of build off of that, take it 1 week at a time or 1 day at a time, however we choose to do. But if we can win each week, I think we'll come out on top each time.
You look 10 games in, and with what we've had to overcome pitching-wise, this is what we needed to do to stay afloat. I'm not pleased by any stretch of the imagination. That's just not how I operate, but I am encouraged that we had enough fight to play hard.
The smiling man over my shoulder is the NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Week again, the 26th time in Giannis Antetokounmpo's career and third this season. He averages a triple-double as the Bucks go undefeated since last Sunday. That's award-worthy. Milwaukee's most recent triumph comes last night in a rescheduled contest at New Orleans. Brook Lopez and Kevin Porter Jr. among those stepping up in the absence of Antetokounmpo because of a shoulder problem. Each of those guys hits for 20 points. Gary Trent Jr. 29. The Bucks have 1 week left in the regular season. Florida's Todd Golden would become the youngest coach to win an NCAA title since 1983 tonight if the Gators can beat Houston. Back in '83 was Jim Valvano taking North Carolina State over Houston, and searching for someone to hug while running around the court after the buzzer. The comings and goings of the college hoops landscape continue over in Madison. 3 transfers incoming, so Xavier Amos is outgoing. After a slow start following 2 seasons at Northern Illinois, the forward put together some solid contributions as the year went along. He won't be that easy to replace despite his modest stats. 24/7 transfer portal, the first with that report. The Admirals back into a first-place tie with Texas in their division in the American Hockey League after a fruitful trip to Texas. They scored 4 contested goals in 2 games with Grigory Denisenko notching 3 of those goals. The Ads play their final road game of the season at Iowa. And the Milwaukee Wave taking a 5-4 lead on the 2-time defending MASL champions last night's semifinal game out in San Diego. Ian Bennett with the score in the celebration. But the contest goes to overtime. It's so tense to play on a 1-goal game, and right here, the Wave loses, so the season is over.